Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode or race here at the Premium Stock Car Racing League here on CRN at Nashville Super Speedway. This track is 1.3 miles in length, and it is a very quick race. It's almost like a mini Daytona. I think we're going to see lots of great racing. But before we get started here tonight, again on the booth with me is my friend from overseas, Mr. Mark Thomas. How are you doing tonight, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you, Jimmy. Good to be here. Looking forward to this, another race from the Premier Stock Car guys. Always good racing here. I think this track's going to make for some pretty close racing as long as they can keep it green all the way around. It should be interesting.
Yeah, I think the racing is going to be great here tonight. It definitely is, like I said, it's got that Daytona type feel with the speeds and stuff here. But the one thing that happens here that doesn't happen at Daytona is tire wear off. So, they've got multiple lanes here, plenty of fast racing. You can draft each other to get around here. Is going to take the drivers, a little bit of patience and taking care of their trucks just a little bit here tonight in order to complete the race. But practice should be coming to an end here soon. They got about a minute and a half. I know up on the timer it says an hour 20 minutes, but talking with the league owners, they will be fast forwarding the race here to get things started with practice here in about 2 minutes. So, but anyways, these guys are doing a great job here. It looks like right now on top, just kind of fastest at practice is Jordan Hand in that 20, and then Kenneth Cheney up there, Landon Burbage, Jeffrey Goodpasture in that 1 X-Side car, as always showing the steadiest speed up front. William Conley in the 25, Jordan Kreider in the 69, Noah Blackwell in the 88, Melvin Behringer in the 9, Brian Underwood in 77, Dylan Carrier sitting in that 10th spot right now. Nathan Williams in that 13 truck, and 11th Bryce Shoemaker in the 84 in the 12th spot. Josh Kreider in the 5, sitting in about 13th spot right now. Keith Shoemaker in 14th, so you got a couple Shoemaker brothers out there. Timothy Poe in the 71 and 15th. Farrell Robbins in the 4, Jeffrey Ledford in the 29, Stephen Shue in the 85. Danny White back there in the 79 and 19th spot, and Nathan Brookover in the 7 truck. So right now there's 20 trucks that have put a lap in so far. We have a 21st driver out there as well, Nicholas Hewer in the 17. So going back for another race here, making his way around. Looks like he's trying to get used to the setup as he gets a little bit loose coming out of 4 before he comes down to the start-finish line. But finally getting a time in, not what he wanted as he had to slow and collect. But like I said, this is practice. Practice is over in 45 seconds. And they should be fast forwarding the practice into the qualifying. And then these guys will be really out there to get their times in to see how they will start their evening.
Yeah, this should be interesting, Jimmy. Tricky little tri-oval this. It's the road surface is not really conducive to good tyre wear. So, and because it's that little shorter, it means that you can't drive it like you can a lot of the other, I say super speedway, and I'm using air quotes even though nobody can see me. But I am using air quotes, I promise. Because it is that much shorter, you do have to be very aware of your tyre wear and as Hewer gets into the wall there. After a while, it's going to be difficult. Some of these cars are going to start to push up, and I think that you're probably going to find there's a couple of guys taking a very close look at that wall in great detail.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to get as close as the wall as possible, but not too close to basically set the mood here. But right now, the qualifying is underway. They have 5 minutes to get their best lap in, and then we'll start going racing here. And then before we get on that run there, we will definitely get our words from our Grand Marshal, as we have every week so far, and see what he has to say to these drivers, a little wisdom and inspiration to get out there and do great, as they've been doing great so far this season. Looking back on some of the let's see back in here and look at their standings, Mark, and kind of go down and where everybody kind of stands as these guys are getting out there, getting their qualifying laps going. And it looks like, I think I found it here. It looks like Brian Underwood is on top currently with one win, with 150 points and being out lead. He has looks like a 24-point lead so far. So doing pretty good. He's moved quite a ways up, having those great finishes kind of back to back. Oh, he just moved over Bryce Shoemaker, which obviously moved down a spot. Kenneth Chaney has come a long ways back up through the field to be in that third position. And Josh Kreider tied with third position with Kenneth Chaney, up 5 spots from last week. And then Dylan Carrier is in 5th. Jordan Hands in 6th. William Conley's in 7th. Jeffrey Goodpasser in 8th. Noah Blackwell in 9th. Jeffrey Clifton in 10th. And I believe their playoffs hopes is that 10th place. So on the bubble this week is Jeffrey Clifton with Nick Hewer in that 11th spot, not too far behind. So the points race is still largely at hand. The season is almost working on its almost halfway through the season before we get to the playoffs. I believe tonight, did you see what our stage break was tonight, Mark?
I didn't, but I will endeavour to quickly scan through their Discord and see if I can find out for you. Just give me 1 second, Jimmy.
Believe it's in their schedule. I think they have their stage break. Yes, it's at 30. So our stage break will be at lap 30 tonight. But 3 minutes in so far, and Jordan Hand is on top, and then number 20 to take the provisional poll over Landon Burbage, Kenneth Chaney, Jordan Kreider, Bryce Shoemaker for your top 5 so far. Dylan Carrier, Melvin Behringer, Keith Shoemaker, Noah Blackwell, Farrah Robbins for your top 10 so far. So there's only 15 drivers that have times in. Can then the rest of the drivers get out there and make a name for themselves? And Brian Underwood does. He slides into that 3rd spot with a 30.534, showing that he has what it takes to get around here at a good clip. So, sometimes, Mark, with the drivers out here and they drive around, and some people are a lot better at qualifying than others, and some people really have that race pace underhand or underfoot, I guess you'd call it, to get around on pretty much any track. They just don't have really good qualifying runs. But right now, we've seen these drivers drive from start to finish, green flag. And, will tonight be one of those races, or will it be filled with plenty of action-packed incidents or caution flags? So I'm really kind of interested in to see how these drivers will handle this track, as, it can be a tricky one. As you can see right there, Jordan Kreider getting a little bit loose as he's trying to get a good lap in that number 5 machine.
Yeah, it's tricky. I lift myself in the unable to get a decent qualifying lap in. I can never seem to piece it together to get that really decent qualifying lap in, but my race pace seems to compensate just a little bit for that. But I've been looking through the quali times, and Jordan Hand with I think it's a 30.37, but from 2nd to 6th or 5th, 30.52, 30.53, 30.55, 30.57, 30.59, 30.59. So to say that anything from 2nd up to about 7th is close would be a master word of understatement, because they are absolutely within 1/10 of a second of each other, which is around here nothing short of a minor miracle.
Yeah, and as these guys are getting ready to take the track here, we'll get our words from our Grand Marshal tonight. Just stand by as we go ahead and early on. Oh, let me empty this out so we get it. Go.
Hi, I'm Lonnie Crowder, your Grand Marshal tonight. I'd like to give a big shout out to our military. I'd like to also tell you we're in Nashville tonight, where I guarantee the guys ain't gonna be playing music in their cars. So gentlemen, start them engines and let's go racing.
Our Grand Marshal says these guys should have radios in their car tonight. Oh, no, they probably won't have a radio in here as they are at Nashville, but they're definitely going to be hearing the sounds of their trucks get around here. And we'll go ahead and break this field down just a little bit as they are getting ready to take track. If I find my mouse here, here we go. And we will show the qualifying lineup here. So on pole, Jordan Hand, obviously with Firestorm Racing on the pole. Then you have Landon Burbage with Carrier Motorsports on that outside. And Brian Underwood of the Owners Club in third spot. And then Kenneth Cheney sitting in fourth. Jordan Kreider, another driver with the Owners Club. And in fifth place, Bryce Shoemaker with another driver from Firestorm Racing in sixth. And then Josh Kreider back in seventh. Dylan Carrier back in eighth. Melvin Behringer in 9th, Keith Shoemaker in 10th, Noah Blackwell in 11th, Farrell Robbins in 12th. And then we'll go to get the rest of these gentlemen here. And then we have Nathan Williams in 13th, William Conley in 14th, Nicholas Hewer in 15th, Jeffrey Goodpaster has his work made up for him tonight as he's going to start back in 16th, Stephen Shue in 17th, Danny White in 18th, Nathan Brookover in 19th, Timothy Poe in 20th, and for our 21st driver, Jeffrey Ledford in a 29 machine. So 29 trucks here tonight, Mark. It should make it a very interesting and fun race as these guys are putting in, getting ready to go green here as the pace lights are off on the truck down the backstretch into turn 3. And we'll get a ride along with these drivers as soon as we can. But right now we're going to just go visit Barney. That's up in the start finish line. Oh, there's it. There he goes. He's already with the green flag, as you can see right there as he's watching the trucks come down, nearing the Geico start zone as the pace truck is now in. And we are green, green, green as they head down into turn 1.
Yeah, good start there. A little bit of a blinkage there from Jordan Hand as he comes into the first corner, taking it nice and low, trying to drag that bottom. As one of the guys was saying on the radio, these trucks are a little loose to start with, but as the tires let a bit of rubber down onto that hard surface, then they should all come together as the race comes on. But right now, just a little bit of a break by Jordan, but he seems to be followed up by Underwood and Burbage there, not letting him make that break, staying in close. Burbage actually tucked under quite closely to Underwood there. Underwood getting a little loose on the exit.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good racing going on so far. Jordan Hand out to that lead with the two of Landon Burbage, using that lower line underneath Brian Underwood as he takes that 77 with a little bit higher line, getting a little bit loose. Brian Underwood's got to go for a little ride down into the grass. And that, where'd he go? Oh, he's going to fall back. So Brian Underwood's still down to the inside. He's still managed to keep control of the truck. They're going to keep this thing green. So losing a lot of time here early. 77, but not getting into the wall, able to get going there again. We're just going to go ahead and take a little CRN replay here as we watch that 77 just kind of get loose off the corner. As you already heard Mark talk about the drivers saying drivers are kind of complaining a little bit about the truck being loose, but down through the infield, down through the grass, just kind of nice and easy, work his way back to the field. He knows he don't want to come across the whole field, so he's going to keep it low, down low. Slowly come back up on track. Great driving by the 7. Good heads up awareness by the other drivers coming up behind him. So good job by the 77 and the rest of the field to keep this thing green. You know, it's better to, fall to the back and make your way back up through and then crash your car or ruin somebody's race for the night. So 77 doing an awesome job at that right now. But the guy getting the work done so far here tonight is the 20 of Jordan Hand. He's been the fastest in practice, had the pole, and now he's out to a nice lead over Landon Burbage. So not a huge lead, but enough to be in that nice, clean air. And then Kenneth Cheney back in that 76. So I've seen him up front last week. having a great finish himself. But again, find himself in one of those top 3 positions. Then back in 4th place, Bryce Shoemaker, up 2 spots so far tonight here in that 84. They're having another great drive in that number 84 machine, excuse me.
Yeah, this all seems to be shuffling themselves out there, all maintaining that single file. Not too much racing side by side going on at the moment, but I think that's probably due to the fact that the conditions out there are still a little bit slick. They're just trying to get their eye in, get to know how the truck feels, this early on into the race, and they're just waiting for those tyres to bed in and for that grip to come up, and then when it does, then they can start pushing, and the lines will start appearing, and guys will then discover which it is that they want to run, whether they want to try and run that high line to keep that momentum up when they're going round these heavily banked corners. There's quite a steep bank into some of these corners, or whether they'll want to take that low line and try and run along the bottom.
Yeah, there's a pretty nice banking around here. That's which allows him to get around here at a very quick speed, and these trucks being a little light in the end, they really got to take care of these tires, and when we talked about earlier how, these drivers have been able to go green from start to finish, there is a lot of laps here, 150 laps here, each lap being right around, I think, the 30-second mark. As the tires fall off, you'll probably see them drop into like the 31s, possibly the 32, so about 30 seconds to get around here. Nice sized track, lots of speed, but lots of racing. We're on lap 9. Jordan Hands out front with Landon Burbridge in 2nd, Kenneth Cheney's in 3rd. So let's see how the rest of this field goes here tonight as we watch these drivers tackle the Nashville Super Speedway.
Yeah, it's been interesting so far. There's a lot of different lines I see people coming in through, a lot of different positions. Some of these guys wanted to try and take that low side. A lot of them trying to run up the high. It's just been all very different all through. It's while these guys find out how that truck feels and what suits them and what suits that the truck as it feels at that moment in time. As Jimmy was saying earlier, it's very difficult to actually get a feel for where the truck feels good, and that changes throughout the race as the tire wears in and as the fuel load lightens as well. So it dramatically changes as the race goes on. You'll feel that truck start to push, and it will want to wander up the track as the grip sort of drops away from you and as that truck lines up. So you have to constantly adjust your line and adjust your entry point. Even at some point drag a little bit of that brake just to get that front end to bite and drag it back down to the bottom if that's where you want to run.
Yeah, this truck is so wide, Mark. Oh, a little bit of, let's see, somebody lost a bumper in the back as they dragged down the front stretch. But it looks like the 7 tagged the walls ever so slightly, ripping off his rear bumper, leaving it on the track. Nobody ran it over, but thank goodness for iRacing, because they were just able to kind of like it was never there. But the 7 is down a rear bumper, that's for sure, as he was tagged the wall ever so slightly, but definitely ripping off that rear end of the 7 as we caught that live. But yeah, they're doing great. I mean, they're doing great so far here tonight. I would say they got 17 more laps at the stage break, and I would imagine some of these drivers want to try to make their way up to those positions that give points. I believe it's the top 10. So right now sitting on that bubble is Nathan Williams in that bubble spot, and the 25 of the 25 of William Connolly hot on his tails with Jeffrey Goodpaster, who has started in the back, obviously making his way up through the field as well, as he's up 4 spots from the start so far. But the stage break's important and it can get you a lot of points, but and a lot of people really roll the dice for those couple extra points. So we've seen it last week as somebody was able to stretch the fuel but not able to make it all the way.
There's a big cluster of trucks up there as well, as you're so rightly saying. I mean, people are now going to start pushing on for that stage break, for those stage break points, and Nathan Williams making a move up the inside, wants to try and make it stick. Switch back to the outside now, but it's going to be difficult. These guys that kind of want these points, they need them if they want to, make good headway up for the playoffs.
Yeah, Jordan Kreider and the 69 truck, trying to do his best to move his way up the field. Has moved down three spots, so Jordan might have been able to get that great qualifying run, and maybe just having a hard time. Is you can tell all the different lanes here. You can see them high, you can see them low, and that's just because how wide this track really is. You can race 3 wide here, you really can. It gets a little harder coming off some of these corners, but it's just the track is so wide and there's so many lanes, and what feels good to you might not feel good to somebody else. And if you're trying to just kind of get around here using the draft, you might be out of your comfort zone. But the 69 are trying to make his way forward.
Good run.
Yep. Able to get underneath the 24 of Dylan Carrier and get picked up 1 spot there.
And that's the other thing that you've got to be slightly careful of is when that back end does start to, get a little loose on you and start to wobble around a bit. You have 2 choices. You can either come off that gas and just let those back tyres catch up and hopefully not overheat those tyres, or you can just try and drive through it and not lose that momentum. That's a tough decision. You really don't want to overheat those tyres around here, as Jimmy was alluding to earlier. Tyre temp and being able to keep those tyres in good condition is pretty much paramount around here. You need to be able to keep that truck in really good condition and keep those tyres working for you. So, you have to kind of back off the throttle, but you don't want to back off the throttle too much, because this is, in essence, still a super speedway, and you need to carry as much momentum as you possibly can.
Yeah, 19 laps in the book. Jordan Hand out front by almost 1 second lead over Kenneth Cheney. Landon Burbridge in 3rd. Josh Kreider's in 4th. Bryce Shoemaker's in 5th. Noah Blackwell in 6th. Jordan Kreider's in 7th. Dylan Carrier's in 8th. Jeffrey Goodpasser has made his way up to that 9th position. Nathan Williams in 10th. So that's your top 10 right now with 19 laps. We have 11 laps remaining till we hit that stage break at lap 30. So hopefully these guys have enough fuel to make it this week. Really would like to know what basically the fuel stint is here. But also want to give a shout out to all you fans out there. I'll see Barry and Rex Jenkins out there for joining us. And if you haven't already, I know Barry does every week, smash that thumbs button, share with all your friends, get the word out there. The PSCRL drivers have been bringing a lot of viewership, and I really appreciate all the fans out there that support us a little closer in there with the 25 and 13. But we're about ready to break our 700 subscriber mark here at CRN in just a short little over a year and a half. So CRN is doing great, and we welcome the support. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do and support these drivers here, not only with PCRCL, but CRN and Core and everybody else that drives that we support here on CRN. But again, everything that we achieve on YouTube is all thanks to the viewers. So a big thank you. But right now, the 24 and a 9 almost get together there. That was a close one by Dylan Carrier and the 9 of Melvin Behringer. So those drivers having a real battle right there, as they are really fighting to get back up to that 10th spot.
Yeah, that time's getting closer and closer. Lap 23 now, the leaders just passed the line as we clock off lap 23, realizing now that they're on 7 laps to go, and now if they want those stage points, now they're going to have to start making moves, because time is ticking down. Surprisingly, it's actually gone what feels like to me very, very quickly. I mean, we're already closing down on lap 30, and it doesn't feel like we've been out here for that long, Jimmy.
No, it hasn't, and that's testament to the drivers and their skill level, and they're, even if they're not the fastest ones out there, they have what it takes to be the drive with patience and respect of the other drivers. But right now on board with Brian Underwood, who had that early incident being a little bit loose, making his way back up the field. It's going to go to the underside of that number 24, move Brian back up to that 13. So Brian's on a move. He's on a charge to head back forward. So 13th, he was up in their second, third area, slid all the way back to that 20th position, and has moved his way all the way back up to 13th. So Brian has some speed tonight. I would definitely not count him out. He might not be the driver out front right now. That is Jordan Hand, and has a half a second lead over Kenneth Cheney. So Kenneth Cheney not allowing Jordan Hand to escape and kind of keep him in tow there. Maybe Kenneth don't quite have the speed for Jordan here tonight, but definitely is not letting him away, keeping him very honest. As we are on lap 25 mark of 150, stage break here at lap 30. So they're completing 25 now, so only 5 more laps remaining.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan and Kenneth are just making a little bit of a break from it. Landon, a further 2 odd seconds back, with Josh Kreider another 3 behind that. But it doesn't look like Jordan's got this all going his own way. Kenneth's still thereabouts, half a second behind, still not letting him go. And I think that's impressive, because it's still a super speedway, and I don't know if I would want to follow somebody that close behind, disrupting the air going over the front of my truck. And it does look like Kenny's got that bottom line absolutely hooked in, absolutely seeming to make it work. Whereas it does look like, just for a second there, could that be a chink in the Jordan Hand armor? Because it did look like he was moving up the track, whereas Kenneth closes him down lap after lap.
He's going to really have to take a little bit of something special, I think, to hold him off, as Kenneth Cheney is putting on a charge. He's closed the gap to 0.3 of a second here, as they are on, just crossed the line, completing lap 27. We're now on lap 28, so 3 laps remaining here to the stage break. Can Kenneth Cheney get around Jordan Hand to take that finishing position here at the stage break?
Oh, no, it's a good entry in, but looks like Jordan's kind of clocked on to a little bit of what Kenneth was doing, and taking that bottom line and taking that air away from the front of that truck. But Kenneth's not letting him go, putting him under pressure. Another move up onto the inside. Close. He's going to try and make it stick down at the bottom. Jordan just letting that low to mid line work for him, but Kenneth absolutely on his tail, not letting him go. Moves down underneath again, just so close.
They're really fighting it out here. Ooh, and a 20 gets loose and tags the wall. Will this be what the 76 needed, as they go side by side as they cross the start-finish line? Kenneth Cheney to the front. And a slight mistake on Jordan Hand's part, getting into the wall. Can he come back and take the lead back, as we are now on lap 30? So this is like the white flag essentially for the stage break. All we need is Kenneth Cheney to round a few more corners here to take that points lead, or the win there, I guess, for the stage break. So 76 coming out of 3 down the tri-oval area right now. The 20 is not going to have it for Kenneth, but Kenneth is going to walk away, as the 20 truck of Jordan Hand made a slight mistake, allowing him to get away. So they have crossed the start-finish line here. The caution should come out as soon as a few more trucks have crossed the line right there. Yep, so the caution flag is out. The driver's still out there. It doesn't look like anybody is running out of fuel this week. Kenneth Cheney with the win over Jordan Hand. Landon Burbage, Josh Kreider, Noah Blackwell, Jeffrey Goodpasser, Jordan Kreider, Bryce Shoemaker, William Conley, and Melvin Behringer for your top 10. I believe that's where your stage break points end, ladies and gentlemen. But the rest of the field will be Nathan Williams, Brian Underwood, Dylan Carrier, Nicholas Hewer, Kenneth Shoemaker, Farrell Robbins, Timothy Poe, Danny White, Jeffrey Ledford, Stephen Shue, and Nathan Brookover for your 21 truck field. These drivers are having a blast out here so far. We have been green from start to the stage break so far. The pace truck is out. Everybody's catching up. We're going to see everybody come in, probably take 4 tires, top off their tanks. It's really impressive. So we already know that 32 laps, no problem. We will have probably 115 laps before we go remaining as these drivers are coming in here on lap to complete lap 32.
Yeah, it's going to be a very busy. It's going to be a very busy pit lane. A lot of these guys, I can't see anybody taking 2 right now. I just can't see it. They're all going to want to take 4 on a full tank of fuel. So it should be interesting to see just who can nail those marks and get these trucks in and out as quickly as possible.
You can see the drivers are using a very limited amount of pit stops. The drive-through pit stops before they stop. So anyways, the drivers are in, ready to come back out. You see the tires being changed. Jeffrey Goodpaster's out. The 88 is out. The 20 is out. And the 76, can he beat him across the line? It does not. It looks like the 20 has made it. The 5 is out. The 2 is out. The 84, 69. These drivers are all coming down the field. Looks like everybody had a pretty decent stop here. We'll go down the starting order here shortly as all the drivers have making their way off pit lane. It looks like the 7 is the last one here. Nathan Brookover maybe taking a little bit of that damage. I want to just say I'm really surprised that he lost a back bumper. And if I go back to the chase camera, it looks like they have placed the bumper back on, but you can see the damage on that right rear of Nathan Brookover's truck. So not taking this fast repair yet, and that's probably a very smart move as it is very, very, very early in the race. We're on lap 33 of 150, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like the leader is going to be the 20 of Jordan Hand after Kenneth Cheney was able to make it by him for the win for the stage break. So Jordan Hand, Kenneth Cheney, Josh Kreider, Noah Blackwell, Landon Burbage, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Jordan Kreider, Bryce Shoemaker, William Conley, and Melvin Behringer for your top 10. Brian Underwood, Nathan Williams, Keith Shoemaker, Farrell Robbins, Danny White, Jeffrey Ledford, Nicholas Hewer, Stephen Shue, Timothy Poe, Dylan Carrier, and Nathan Brookover. And it looks like, was that Dylan? Is he? Oh, yep, coming out of the pits. So did he get penalized from the first time? I'm not quite sure what why Dylan came in the
know.
second time.
It could be a stop go maybe, or maybe he didn't missed a click and didn't put a set of tires on, or didn't have auto fuel set up so that he could take a full tank of fuel. There's a couple of options here, and it's very easy to miss something like that, like a misclick. But I'll keep quiet as we get going once again.
Yeah, pace lights are off on the truck. He's in on the pit lane. Jordan Hand is going to lead the drivers down in the Geico's restart zone. He is on the gas pedal, shoots off to a nice little lead there, just 76 of... Oh, they get together just ever so slightly, so that's going to allow Kenneth Cheney to get back around the 20. Josh Kreider takes advantage of the 20 and the 76, kind of getting together just a little bit, is able to go around the outside of the 20. Josh Kreider taking the inside of that 76.
Fantastic start there from Josh, absolutely managing to steam around the outside there and make that work for him. But now this is going to turn out to be quite interesting now, because what we're going to see now, this is probably going to be our first long green run. So it's going to be a case of who can make their tyres last, who can make the fuel last, and where this is going to pull everybody into the pits now. So this now is going to get things quite interesting, because they're not timing it to make that 30-lap stage break. They're timing it to make as long as that fuel tank can last.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how far these drivers can go. As they came in, got fuel. It looks like the 76 is going to get Kenneth Cheney is going to get underneath the 5 of Josh Kreider to take that lead back as they head down into turn 3. The 2 wide, a few rows back. The racing is heavy here, trying to establish their position. Fresh new tires, plenty of grip. The trucks are loose on the rear end, especially on the exit of the turns, but they're going down into turn 1 here. Turn 2 is a different story. Can the 5 hold that outside? Can the 76 hold the inside? 76 is clear, going to move up in front of the 5. 20 is not clear. He has to kind of check up just ever so a little bit, allowing the 5 to maintain that second place, but the 20 using that low line to get around the 5. Now can the 5 maintain position and keep it going as Josh has really worked his way up into that 3rd position. But you know, we talk about him every week, and he's quiet and he's just silent. And this is a little bit early in the race here for Jeffrey Goodpasser, but this driver right here is up 12 spots again from the beginning of the race. Biggest mover of the race, making things happen, looking to take that P3 spot away from Josh Kreider, and just making things hooked up. I mean, I think Jeff just had a bad qualifying run, or just, you know, maybe one of those drivers that just doesn't focus too much on like very fast hot laps, but has a nice race pace as he's able to get that one Exide truck around here at a decent clip. But back there, William Conley and then number 25 fighting it side by side with the 88 of Noah Blackwell, going at it. The 2 of Landon Burbage with Carrier Motorsports also in that battle right there. Just these drivers will not give up spots. 2 by 2, making moves inside and out. Also got the 13, the Red Bull truck there, making moves. Nathan Williams up into that 7th spot. So a lot of drivers making things happen here. William Conley now up 9-10 spots. So another great move. So you get, it looks like the 1, or like not the 1, but the inside line mark here right now is the place to be with the fresh tires.
Yeah, I agree. As Goodpasser tries to make that move under Josh Kreider's stick by taking that low line, as we were talking about earlier. It's going to be difficult. You don't really want to. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd want to go to that low line quite so early. I'd want to try and preserve those tires if I possibly could. But you know, sometimes I think that if you want to make the move and you want to make it stick, and you don't want those top 2 guys to get away, you kind of have to be that little bit aggressive. But once you've made that move, you kind of then want to, you know, get back into that pack and you know, just run it where it is. But nobody seems to be using that middle to top line yet. So, you know, maybe, you know, at this stage of the race and with the track in the condition that it's in, that low line is the place to be.
Yeah, definitely a low line run so far here tonight. The middle to upper lane has not come in just as of yet, but you know, maybe somebody back in the pack, maybe somebody like Brian Underwood, as he's making his way back up to the field from an earlier incident, going down and, you know, clipping some good grass for the lawn maintenance crews, but making his way up through the field. You know, Brian Underwood has now got into the top 10.
Yeah, he had great pace earlier on. You know, we've seen it all through the season. He's had great pace all through the season. So you expect him to be, you know, up the front with those lead guys, as he's proved that he's more than capable of running up there. But yeah, earlier on, that back end just getting a little loose on him and him having to take avoiding action by stepping through the grass. But still keeping it on track and not bringing out a yellow, which is quite an impressive feat around here, because it's not easy to keep these cars on this track at this speed.
No, it really not. You know, it's people sometimes think that, oh, it's not hard. It's like driving your street car. By no means necessary. It's anything like driving a street car. You got high speeds, aero. You know, you got slick tires. You know, you got to manage the heat in the tires. When the tires get hot, they get greasy. They're sliding all over the place. It's just, you know, a handful for these drivers, and it's more than people think about. It's a little bit different than just turning left. You know, you can hear the lifting of the gas here, and you know, so that's what makes Nashville Super Speedway, you know, different from your Daytonas and your Talladegas. Obviously, being a little bit of a shorter track, you know, being able to get around here in 30 seconds instead of, you know, 48. So there's a lot of, you know, a lot of speed here, a lot of talent, and a lot of things that drivers need to think about besides just turning left. So right now, these drivers are doing a great job. Jordan Hand back out front in that first spot. And then looking back into second place is Kenneth Cheney back there. Already looks like Jeffrey Goodpasser looking to take that maybe P number 2 spot, but just giving his nose look to the low side. But we'll go ahead and back. And William Conley doing one heck of a bang-up job, has made his way up to P number 4, looking to the inside of one of Jeffrey Goodpasser to take it away and take position of P number 3.
But yeah, now we can see just as the tyre starts to wear a bit, that top line is starting to come in. It's starting to pay a little bit of dividend. Goodpasser just enabling that truck to run a little bit. That was a quite close little cut off. Obviously, he was told that he was clear and could make that move and make it stick from Conley. But now Goodpasser returning the favour. Just running up the inside. I thought it was going to be door to door, but both drivers keeping it off each other. An impressive display.
Yeah, iRacing getting it correct that time. No net code involved. Those trucks were extremely close. The 25 gets around them one to take that P3 position away, but the 88 of Noah Blackwell also looking to take that position away from Jeffrey Goodpasser. Jeffrey Goodpasser is kind of stuck on that bottom row. Josh Cryer looking to take it 3 wide, thinks better of it, falls back behind. Jeffrey Goodpasser also sitting back there in that P number 6 position, looking to make his way back up to the front.
That's one thing I'm a little wary of every time I've run around here is running below that yellow line as you come on at the tri-oval, because the transition from the apron as you come back on at the track, as you can see that the tarmac below the yellow line, it's very flat. You just saw a little wobble there from the truck as it transitioned from the banking onto the flat part of the track there. It does tend to make it a little difficult. It can make the truck a little unpredictable. So the fact that Goodpasser is actually managing to pull that off lap after lap is all credit to him, because that's not something that I think I would want to run.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. You know, I've done plenty of races around here, and I do like running Nashville Super Speedway, as it gives you kind of that super speedway feel. You know, it's a little bit different than Atlanta and like Texas and Vegas, but you know, it's kind of in that same format. Really wide open and plenty of lines that you can take around here. But yeah, that down below the apron there across the tri-oval area really does and can upset the truck, as you know, as you can see, Jeffrey Goodpasser has been able to make it work and not wreck his truck, and he's still sitting in a pretty decent position. But don't look too far right now. But Brian Underwood is now up into the 7th spot, so only down 4 spots from his starting position, trying to get around Josh Kreider, but making his way back forward in that 77 truck here tonight at Nashville. We're on lap 53 of 150, so we're a little over a third away to complete here. Jordan Hand's out front with Kenneth Cheney in 2nd, William Conley's in 3rd, Noah Blackwell's in 4th, Jeffrey Goodpasser's in 5th, Brian Underwood, Josh Kreider, Bryce Shoemaker, Landon Burbridge, Jordan Kreider right out your top 10. Then you have Melvin Behringer, Nathan Williams, Dylan Carrier, Jeffrey Ledford, Dylan Carrier, Nicholas Hewer, Farrell Robbins, Danny White, Steven Shue, Timothy Poe, Keith Shoemaker, and Nathan Rookover for your 21 truck field here on lap 53.
I've just been watching a little bit of Brian Underwood as he goes around. He's so smooth. It's absolutely ridiculous. It almost just looks like that car isn't actually turning at all. It just seems to drop into that line and then just drift smoothly back out, which is, I mean, it's got to be good for his tyre wear. He's got to be probably making that long run work, and I think that is what's actually helping him make up those places. Underwood up again, making another pass by Goodpasser, and this he just seems to be on an absolute mission to regain those positions that he lost in that first couple of laps incident.
Yeah, he was able to use the stage break to his advantage. Close back in on the leaders here, and now making his way back up through the field, only down now 2 positions from his starting position as he works his way up forward, in that 77 truck. So doing a fantastic job here tonight. But Jordan Hand out front. We'll go ahead and show the tower. I've had it off for a while to give you guys a maximum huge. But you have a 6/10 lead from Jeffrey Hand to Kenneth Cheney from first to second. Then it's a 1 second back to William Conley in third, and then another second back to Noah Blackwell. So a little bit of a stretching out there between second, third, and fourth as they're 1 second apart, and then back from fourth all the way back to 11th. Those drivers are only like a half a second within each other. Mark.
Yeah, we said there was going to be some close racing, and it really does look. I mean, if you look over at the tower, there's like a 6/10 of a second of a gap between first and second. Then there's a second between third and fourth, and then from fifth down to about 11th, everything's orange. It's all orange, so that pack is tightly bunched together, all looking to try and make those moves, and just to see where everybody lands out. Because I mean, we are now, let me just have a quick look, lap 59. So, almost 60 laps in. They came in at their stage break on 30, went out for another 3. So, I mean, they've probably got about another 7-8 laps until they reach that same point again. And then we're going to see just who's managed to make those tyres work and just see who's got what fuel on.
Yeah, so we talk about the front drivers or even the front mid-pack. Let's look at the backpack. Back here in 15th spot and 16th spot. So you have Danny White, Farrell Robbins, Keith Shoemaker, Dylan Carrier, and Steven Shue. Look at these drivers just battle back here. They're all within, half a second of each other and just battle on and out just as hard as the front drivers. And here's this kind of like this like skill gap, or maybe their comfortability with the truck getting around here. And you don't have to be in the front of I mean, obviously everyone wants to try to win the race, but you don't have to be in the front to have great racing. And these drivers back here in the back of the pack that come out here every single week, continue to learn, are having a great race and battle with each other.
Well, not only that, Jimmy, but it's these kind of battles and these kind of rivalries are such that just bring you back week after week, because the guys who are running 15th, 16th, 14th to 18th, 14th to 20th, they are all battling out between each other. Some of them realise that they don't quite have the pace yet to run up the top, but this is where they learn their racecraft. This is where they learn to run around the guys that that are the same pace as them. This is where they learn, how to run a side draft or how to tuck in behind another driver, how to use a slipstream. It's all a learning process, and the racing is just as tough. I would say, even not a little tougher back here than it is up the front.
Sometimes it is, because, when accidents happen, they usually happen in front of these drivers, and they have to, go through the wreck avoidance as well. And these drivers continue to show that they have what it takes to be out here, and it's just really just part of their experience. And sometimes you just gotta realize where your skill level's at, get out there and learn. And maybe it was just you didn't get the time to practice as much as you wanted to this week, or you didn't get to learn how to save those tires on this track. You didn't figure out the exact line to run this week, and you get out there and you try following somebody around. You can see the 85 really getting behind behind Dylan Carrier, basically drafting him around the track. Maybe he's found that line feels good for him, or maybe eventually he's going to step out, try something new. Usually when you follow the same exact line behind a driver, you're not going to make any headway on him, or you'll get to his back bumper and you still have to get around him. So you have to find the other line and where the other drivers make the mistake to make the move, the pass to get around them. But that's the back of the pack, and I don't want to. I'm watching you guys just as much as I watch the front, and a lot of times it is really exciting back there. So I always like to go back to the field and give those drivers the credibility and time on camera to show what it's like back there as well. You can see the 76, if I'm not mistaken. I think he just touched the wall ever so slightly as he's trying to chase down that 20 of Jordan Hannigan. So, we're around here on lap 66, Mark. I think we're starting to get around when they came in for pit. Yep, so we're on lap 30, or everybody's on lap 32 so this is just like the first stage break before they came in. So the tires are the exact same pretty much the whole time. Now they're going to keep going. How much longer, how many more laps can these drivers go around here tonight? But we're going to find out. As we're on lap 67, 150. Jordan Hands out front with Kenneth Cheney in second and William Connolly in third.
Yeah, this is going to start to get a little interesting now because judging by what we saw last time, it looks like Kenneth Cheney's got that little bit more speed in the top run. But look who's coming. Look who's there. Underwood. Still not giving up. Just makes that move underneath. William Connolly there trying to make it stick. Seems to have that low line pretty much dialed in. Something that we saw from him earlier. He seems to be able to maintain that low line and make it work for him. But William Connolly not giving it up, trying to go around the outside, refusing to let it go. But you can just see that groove starting to form. The track slightly changing colour along that line, which is now going to start bringing that grip up to the slightly higher line. And we're going to see whether or not that makes that changes the way that some of these guys try to get around this track.
Yeah, I think it's really going to change some of the drivers, or maybe some of the older worn tire, or maybe somebody looking to save a little bit of tire later on in the race here, is because running that low line, you really do put a lot of pressure on your front right and your right rear, if I'm not mistaken, as these drivers get around here. And now with the with them using up their fuel, when you start burning off fuel, it tightens the truck up as well. But right now, the interval between first and second is only a half a second, then 2.8 seconds back to third, which is Brian Underwood. So I think Brian's the truck to watch here tonight, as obviously he made an early mistake and really regretted it, but was able to maintain control of that truck, was able to keep himself calm and collective and get back out here. He has methodically made his way back up to the field, and here he is sitting in that number 3 spot, just getting around William Connolly there, that has made his way up 10 spots and doing a fantastic job. So great showing by the number 25 so far here tonight, as we're on lap 70 of 150. Jordan Hand out front over Kenneth Cheney, Brian Underwood. But we're going to go back here and see. Oh, and it looks like we got to keep coming in. So yeah, Bryce Shoemaker, Noah Blackwell coming in here early on lap 71. So looking almost about 40 laps, Mark, for these drivers to go. So we'll see how many laps more that some of these drivers could do or decide to do. But the 84 and 88 decide to come in here together. Or maybe not together, but at least a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, now I'm kind of curious. Is this a deliberate early stop to try and get some fresh rubber on and trying to get those times down and try and make this a quick undercut, or do they just not have enough fuel to make it? But it looks like some of these guys are still going round. So, I think that this might be a shot at an undercut, get that fresh tyre on there, try and make that rubber work for them and get those lap times down and pull some places back. Noah's really stretching that that truck on the acceleration out there, the back end wobbling around and weaving as he's trying to get that power down.
So looking at the Noah Blackwell and Bryce Shoemaker going a lap down for the pit stop, but how fast can they make this time up? Is this going to be a good run for them? You look at the amount of laps remaining, Mark, and they maybe decided, since they are doing such a great job staying green, that they just went ahead and decided they know that they have to stop again, so they just split it even, instead of running their tanks out. Just split this thing in basically a 2-stop finish here to the end, to that 150 lap mark. But right now we're at lap 74 of 150 with Jordan Hand out front, Kenneth Cheney in second, Brian Underwood's in third. And pit stops have been decided by a few of our drivers so far here tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the mental math now. If they can run 33 laps, that will take them up to 110. I'm not sure I'm not sure if they could make it stretch, or whether or not that if it was 110, they'd need to do 40 laps on that last tank to make it work. And well, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see if anybody can make that 40 lap run.
Well, we already know that the 40 lap window is within the window because the last time a lot of these drivers stopped was laps 32. So 40 laps out of that, 72. So we're over the 40 lap period. You know, is this short pit stop going to work out in their favor? Is this going to be what it needs to take? A lot more drivers coming down in. Nicholas Hewer, Nathan Williams, Josh Kreider, all heading down to the pits.
Yeah, they must be. They must be trying to split this up evenly or as close as they can, so that they can run with the freshest tires possible towards the end. I'm just looking down at the pit lane now, seeing what sides go up. Right sides. Still no movement. Left sides as well. Yep, left side's going up. Everybody taking forward right now.
Something happened to William Conley. I got him off track, as we'll see what happened to William Conley here. Looks like he just came down a little bit early for a pit stop.
Couldn't get it stopped.
Gonna get it stopped. So players there on the grass. He's gonna back it up a little bit so he can make the entry. So big self penalty for the 25 of William Conley.
Yeah, it's a tough entry though. You're trying, and you don't want to brake too early. You don't want to lose any time coming down that pit road. So I mean, it's easily done. I've done it myself more than one occasion.
And Jeffrey Goodpasser, Jeffrey Ledbetter, Farrell Robbins, Stephen Keith Shoemaker, Timothy Poe, all down in the pit lane. So the drivers are coming down for those pit stops. Right now, still Jordan Hand out front with Kenneth Cheney, Brian Underwood, Melvin Behringer up in fourth spot. Landon Burbridge, Jordan Kreider, Danny White, Dylan Carrier still out from the initial stop. Everybody else has come in so far. Everything is kind of rotating around. Bryce Shoemaker and Noah Blackwell are back up to 9th and 10th. So we're going to see how that continues to work out as the rest of the drivers need to come in. But right now, the 20 is coming in. The 76 is coming in. Oh, 76 coming in hot. Able to keep it off the 20. Look at that 77.
Oof.
Man. Brian is on fire. Oh, the 2 getting a little loose right there before pit entry.
Close, manages to hold it off though. Just manages to get it back into the pit lane. As they come back into the pit lane, Jordan Hand just slightly later up onto the jacks than left side's up, down, and they're away. I don't think there's enough time. They're Cheney and
Dang. They're racing off pit lane as well as on the track, but a lot of good things going on. The 2 is finally in the pits here. The 69 is on their way out. Melvin Behringer and Dylan Carrier coming down into pit lane. So it looks like everybody is going to have their pit stops completed. We will get back to our order here and see who is out front, but I think the undercut mark has paid dividends for Bryce Shoemaker.
It does look like it has, because he seems to be all on his own.
Bryce Shoemaker out to a 1.5 second gap over Kenneth Cheney, which came out just in front of Jordan Hand. So there's a little bit of kind of a roll change here as Bryce has made his way to the front. Now there's a 9-lap difference in between them tires, and I'm sure that Kenneth Cheney, as fast as he was running, is going to go ahead and catch up to him. But you can see how important that short pit stop made out here, as he was able to get in front of the leaders.
Yeah, in front of the leaders, but now the leaders are going to want to close him down quickly. They're on fresh rubber, but they've got to get past back markers, and at the moment it looks like the 2 and the 71 on the outside slightly holding up Jordan Hand. He's trying to get that thing to work. He's trying to get it to pull down on the bottom. He wants them to be aware that he's there, but they are in a battle all of their own. But it looks like they both make it through and close up on Shoemaker.
So they are back. Well, the 84, 76 side by side. 84 gets slid up the track just ever so slightly. He's going to allow. Ooh, the 71 goes for a ride.
Good grief. The 71 still holds it, though, doesn't let it go, keeps the race green. Impressive display. And another impressive display by all of these drivers out here, even managing to keep this race green, even though they're sliding off the track and through the grass.
We'll go back and catch as the 71 almost got in the rear end of the 2, and I think that kind of put the truck off. You can see the 71 there on that slider, just holding on to it, able to get it down the grass, get it kind of pointed back to the speedway, down to the apron, bring that car up slowly from the apron, allowing the other drivers to go around him on the outside. So great drive by Timothy Poe. Keep this thing green. We are still green from the start. 85 or lap 85 of 150. Kenneth Chaney has made his way back out front over Jordan Hand, but Bryce, the talk right now is Bryce Shoemaker. Able to make that short pit work to his advantage. Maybe not as fast as Kenneth Chaney and Jordan Hand, but it's still up in that P3 spot and back in 4th. Noah Blackwell, obviously the other driver to decide to do the short pit stop as well. And then back in 5th spot is Brian Underwood as his march forward continues to happen. 6th place is Josh Kreider. 7th place is Nathan Williams in the 13 Red Bull truck. Jeffrey Goodpasture, a little quiet here today from the 1X side, was showing signs of taking away P3, is now back in P8, but then back in 9th is Nicholas Hewer. We talked about him early in the season in the 17, as the 17 has been delivering a bunch of just straight up different paint schemes. Tonight's like a dark purple, and we've seen them in chrome machines, everything. Their painters are having a lot of fun with that machine there. The number 17, William Conley, and the number 25 is in 10th. 11th is Jeffrey Ledford. 12th is Jordan Kreider. 13th is Melvin Behringer. Danny White's in 14th. Stephen Shu in the 85 Unidonkey is back in 15th. Keith Shoemaker is in number 16 in that Bass Tracker. Number 45, Nathan Brookover in the number 7. As we've seen him tag the wall a little bit earlier, but it looks like he took his fast repair as running in P number 17, up 2 spots from his start. So still having a pretty decent run here tonight. Again, like I said, some people are just not as comfortable with some tracks as others. But Landon Burbridge is now in 18th as he had a rough pit stop along with Dylan Carrier back there in 19th. So those two drivers having a very rough entrance there for their green flag pit stop. Pro Robbins and then number 4, a Busch Light machine back there in P number 20, 1 lap down. So Landon Burbridge, Dylan Carrier, and Farrell Robbins both all 1 lap down. Timothy Poe and having that great save there right at the end is now 2 laps down. But, he's still out there, Mark, and that's all that matters. And just getting out there, getting laps in, the repetition, the time on track. And week in, week out, I'm sure we'll see the 71 start to move forward.
Oh, no, I totally agree. And at the moment, I would probably think to myself that the rear tyres on that 71 truck are really very angry because they really don't like going sideways for that length of time. But the fact that he actually managed to hold on to that is just another testament to the skill of a lot of these drivers. Not easy to hold that truck sideways for that period of time and not let it over-rotate on you. So the fact that he managed to hold on to that, keep it going in the right direction-ish, is still an impressive display.
Yeah, it's always to see, drivers, and I'm sure they call them brown pants moments as they happen, and you're trying to collect your vehicle and just keep it going straight. You don't want to ruin the race for everybody else. You made a mistake. That truck the 71 was definitely at max slip angle for way too long, and it really cooked them tires, and it got loose coming off the corner, putting them down through the grass. But at least here at Nashville Super Speedway, they were able to use that grass to slow the car down, collect the truck, continue going, slowly make their way back up on the up on the apron and then back up on the raceway. So, just a great job there by the 71 overall. But yeah, you're right. Them tires are beat, they're hot, and they are angry, and they just come in and pit. So he's going to be right around in the back and just continue to kind of work that 71 to get around here continuously for another few laps. As I think we're going to start seeing people pit within the next 17 laps is my call, Mark.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably about the right time. They're not going to want to come in too early. Unless your name's Bryce Shoemaker and you think that you can make that short bit work, and he has been making it work. So you never know. I mean, he might. As soon as he knows that he can make it to the end on the the fuel that is going to be in that tank, we might just see him make that another early pit stop and try and get that run, because it certainly worked for him first time round. But I'm just going to have a quick flick over at the live chat. Barry Kissler's going with Dylan Carrier, and then Ken Chaney's sure looking good tonight. Actually, I absolutely agree with you. He's been impressive, and I think he might actually have something for Jordan Hand. He certainly seems to be making that long run pace work as he pulls up big handfuls of time on the entry there. Yeah,
the 7 getting letting the 20 go by, but going high, kind of choking up this 20 just a little bit, allowing that 76 to close in ever so quickly. But the 76 has his teammate of the 2, which is Landon Burbridge. He is 1 lap down, first car on the off the lead lap there, but following closely, in case anything happens, will be able to make his way back on that lead lap if a caution were to come out. But we're on lap 96 of 150. Jordan Hand's out front over Kenneth Cheney. Brian Underwood is in 3rd. Bryce Shoemaker's in 4th. Jordan Kreider's in 5th. Jeffrey Goodpasser's in 6th. Nathan Williams, Noah Blackwell, Nicholas Hewer, and William Conley for your top 10.
Yeah, I've just been trying to do the math in my head. There's the math in my head. They 2 words that really shouldn't go together that well. But it looks like I think you could very well be right. Another 13 about lap 110. You might see a mass exodus for that pit lane, as these guys know that they'd be able to make a 40 lap stretch to the end, and by that time, a lot of these tyres are going to be screaming for mercy, and they are going to be wanting to get changed as soon as possible so that they can make the maximum amount of usage out of new tyres before the end of the race.
Everybody wants to be able to, get to the end of the race, and right now these drivers are doing a fantastic job making sure that that's able to happen. But right now, Jordan Hand would love to finish this one out with another win here. Kenneth Cheney always threatening to take that lead away from him. But Brian Underwood, having that early incident down through the grass, has made his way back up into P number 3. He's got 6.5 seconds to make up here. About 52 laps to do it in, so plenty of time. We'll just see if Brian has the pace to keep up and make up those 6 seconds to see if he can make his way up into P number 2. But the racing right now, Mark, is back there with P number 5, 6, and 7. So Jeffrey Goodpasser, Josh Kreider, and Nathan Williams battling it out here for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Josh looking to use the high side a little bit. Jeffrey Goodpasser uses that low side to his advantage to get around. So a lot of good racing back here in the middle of the pack. There's still, back here is where your pretty good racing is. And we'll go back to actually back in near 10th. Another good battle back there as well, as we see. Oh, what is...
Wow! Josh absolutely cutting the front of a Goodpasser. Goodpasser runs it back up onto the inside, trying to make it stick down the bottom, but it looks like Josh has got that outside line absolutely nailed down. Runs a ton more speed as they come out of the top end. Maybe that top line to the, that middle to top line starting to come in. That groove starting to form back on the track, as we were talking about earlier. It's starting to darken off as these tyres lay their rubber down onto that surface.
It's one thing with these drivers being able to run these longer races here. The track starts playing a factor. The rubber starts coming in, makes, changes the grip. And a lot of people don't realize that, when you run the official series, you're running a lot of sprint races. You don't even need to pit on like 90% of them. So, because they're just short, just nice quick races to get out there, practice your racecraft and whatnot. But the big part about racing is them pit entries. As we can see, it plagued some of these drivers and put them towards the back of the pack or even a lap down. But right now there's a battle on hand with Kenneth Cheney and Jordan Hand. They're down between a tenth of a second here as they're working their way through lap traffic as they go to the underside of the 4 of Farrell Robbins and the Busch machine. So, how these drivers make it their way through this lap traffic really kind of show it kind of shows you like that they're battling. Look, 76 is going to try to stick his nose down underneath the 20. Use that 85 as a pick.
Oh, that was nicely done. Drags it back down up to the inside. Actually makes it pass now. So that puts Cheney now just ahead of Jordan Hand. We'll see whether or not Kenneth actually has enough pace to try and break that toe from Jordan, or whether or not now they're just going to maintain position and Jordan's going to tuck in, knowing that he has the lead stall when he comes into that pit lane, and he's going to try and make that benefit.
Yeah, so right now, lap 105 of 150. Ooh, an 85 gets a little bit loose. Chases the 20 of Jordan Hand down the track a little bit. That's going to make him lose maybe a tenth or so. Obviously trying to let the leaders go by. The 2 makes his way around the 85 as well. But that was a close one by the 85, as you can see. Caught almost live on camera. Almost getting in the wall.
Yeah, and this is the other thing that we really kind of need to take into consideration. And this is nothing against the guys that have been lapped. Sorry.
No, just going back here to Timothy Poe again. Again, sideways. It's too much slip angle down through that tri-oval grass yet again. Unless was this earlier? It's that long ago? Maybe I just... maybe not. No, that was an old one. I'm sorry. I thought it was something new popped up. Got excited there from I thought we had some action in the back. But anyways, back up front. Kenneth Cheney out to the front over Jordan Hand and stretching it out just a little bit. Half a second so far. Brian Underwood is still over 6 seconds behind these first 2 drivers. So he's got a ways to go to make his way up for a possible win. And I'm sure he'd love a caution to tighten things up, or hope that one of these 2 drivers on their next pit stop makes a mistake. But right now, Mark, I think we're getting in that window. If the drivers were to come in, they can make it. So yeah, it's just a tough call. We've seen how Bryce Shoemaker was able to make his way back from the position he was in, and then he came out with the lead. Can he do it again? Is this something that a 2-tire change and just the gas, is that enough? I didn't get out here and get a chance to practice, obviously, because I'm just up here in the booth, but is a 2-tire change feasible? Is it enough to make up time on the track? So we'll see what these guys come down here. A lot of racing left. We'll have 110 of 150, but I think right now we're in that window, and I really think it's going to call on Brian Underwood, and who was the other one come down here with him? It was Bryce Shoemaker, and who came down with him? 84 and 88. Oh, no, Blackwell, yeah. So Blackwell. Noah Blackwell's back there in 11th position, but he was up there in that top 5 with that short pit stop, and has fallen back just ever so slightly as we round down. But I would imagine those 2 drivers are thinking about coming in here shortly to maximize newer tires.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they've got to be now trying to make the fuel calculations and seeing just what, and this is going to get a little spicy up front. Goodpaster with Josh moving side by side with the 84 tucked in close behind.
Side by side, racing at its best. The 1 and the 5. The 84 is coming in. Bryce Shoemaker taking that pit stop early, like we called it. He is going in for his last pit stop, but the 1 and the 5 continue to battle as they head down into turn 1, still side by side as they work their way into turn number 2. The 1 getting a little bit of run, able to use that inside. The 5 of Josh able to use the outside to his advantage going into 3. 1's going to take a nice dive, able to get a nice little lead over the 5. The 5's going to tuck down behind the 1, allow Jeffrey Goodpaster to go through. But Josh is in the pits. He's in the pits as he comes down. Hopefully he gets to slow down, as that looked like a pretty good entry by the number 5. Also Nathan Williams in. So the pit stops came out. Are out. Then some people hitting a little bit earlier than last time. I think looking for the undercut, able to use the newer tires to their advantage, as we've seen that Bryce Shoemaker was able to use that to his advantage and come out with a lead for a few laps. But Kenneth Cheney is currently out front with a almost 0.7 second lead over Jordan Hand. Which is, it seems like an eternity sometimes, and it's not even that, it's not even that long of a time, it's like 1 second, 1 Mississippi, that's it. And they travel that far, but you can see the distance between the two trucks is because of the speeds out here. But right now, Kenneth Cheney over Jordan Hand, Brian Underwood, Jeffrey Goodpaster's in 4th, Melvin Behringer's in 5th, Nicholas Hewer in 6th, Jordan Kreider, William Connolly, Noah Blackwell, and Jeffrey Ledford. So, that one name, the 88 of Noah Blackwell, we've seen him come in earlier, but decides to change up his pit stop strategy here late in the game as he's staying out.
Oh, running it long this time. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see just what happens now with the rest of the field, whether or not they're going to decide that they want to come in now early, or whether they're going to try and tough it out and finish this race on slightly fresher tyres, and whether that's going to give them advantage over the guys that pit early and have to run those I say good laps, but the laps when you can run those tyres hard are slightly earlier on.
Yeah, it's really amazing what these drivers can do out there, and the 88 getting around here, and a little bit of damage on his right side, but still doing a great job getting around here. But right now, Kenneth Cheney is still out the lead. Looks like the 71 is exiting, and then Jordan Hand's not too far behind. And I'm really kind of surprised that Jordan's actually is slipped behind, as maybe just a little bit too much on them tires, as Kenneth has been able to kind of just pull out. So maybe just kind of chilling just ever so a little bit, making sure that the 20 is safe, because there's still plenty of racing left here, ladies and gentlemen. We're only on lap 117 of 150, so this thing's not over by any chance. And if you have any favorite drivers out there, don't be afraid to just put it in the chat, give us a holler. Maybe you want an angle you want to see, you want to hop on board, or any of your favorite drivers, just let us know. Also, if you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up, share with everybody, subscribe if you haven't. We're closing in that 700 mark, so I'd like to definitely see maybe you be the one that puts CRN over the 700 mark, as we're slowly but surely working to our partnership status with YouTube. But anyways, Kenneth Cheney is out front over Jordan Hand. Pit stops are in. William Connolly and Noah Blackwell are now in the pits.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Noah in there. Those tyres are probably screaming for mercy. He's been out there for an awfully long time on that set, and now he's going to want to take another set on. Going out there just nicely, sticking to the right side. Let's see whether or not he can get this thing away cleanly, because last time it looked like the back end of that truck was protesting under the immense torque of these big old V8s that they've got in here.
Yeah, so coming out right now, they're just allowed the leaders to go by. So this would be a testament, to these newer tires. Can they get back up and catch up to the 8 or the 20 and the 77? Just see the 24 there. Well, it's going to be interesting here. New tires, the 8 on the 88, getting underneath the 24 at Dylan Carrier. I really want to see how these new tires handle from Noah Blackwell here, as you know, he's now 2 laps down, but still on the back bumper of the second place driver of Jordan Hand in that 20. So we're really kind of seeing how the new tires kind of handle out, and you know, I'm sure the 20 is obviously running fast here tonight, but you can see the new tires able to close up on that number 20 from the 88.
Yeah, he's gonna want to try and get past as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to try and get held up. He knows that he's on fresh rubber. He knows that there's good pace in that truck. He doesn't want to be stuck there for too long.
You can see the 71 of Timothy Poe going to the underside of the 88. He says, "You're holding me up. I don't know who's holding you up." And now he sees
around the outside.
He sees the 20 now in his way, so the 71's going to slow up, do the right thing, use that high side to get around the second place driver of Jordan Hand. Actually, he's going to use that outside. Oops. Got up in front of him. So the slower drivers with newer tires obviously getting in. Jeffrey Goodpasser's now in. Steven Shue is now in. Kenneth Cheney and Jordan Hand
Still out there.
They are still out there. And they have a lap on everybody, along with Brian Underwood, Gordon Kreider, Landon Burbage, Keith Shoemaker, all in the pits. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, these top drivers are going to want to come in here shortly. And you can see the 71 getting underneath the 76.
Making it 3 wide as Goodpasser comes out of the pits on fresh rubber as well. He's going to try and make a move up the inside of Cheney.
Yeah, he's going to want to use as much time out on the track as possible to close that gap on these 2 leaders. Jordan Hand is now down in the pits. Kenneth Cheney is the only one that is still out there, along with Brian Underwood.
Now he's Cheney stretching this out so that he can stay on that fresh rubber for that little bit longer and try and make all of the advantages that come of that track rubbering in. That would be my thought process right now. And he's coming in.
Yeah, I think Kenneth Cheney was just waiting for Jordan Hand to come in, so there was no advantage. Obviously, with a small lead, needed a great entry. Brian Underwood into the pits, taking another just behind Jordan here, coming in the pits, had a great entry there. Looked like he was coming in pretty fast, was able to get it slowed up.
Now this is going to turn out to be interesting. Now I want to see. Yep, there's Jordan Hand coming out, and we'll have to see where Jordan Hand comes out compared to both Underwood and Cheney.
Well, here's Bryce Shoemaker that was made the early pit stop. And then P number 4 right now.
Was that Noah Blackwell behind him that got? This is not, is it?
No, Blackwell's in the 88.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
The NGB Designs. If you need a paint scheme for your vehicles, contact NGB on their Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch? Not Twitch. Instagram. Yep. That's right. Those guys there will provide you with a nice wrap, as you see in some of their paint jobs out here. Also, shout out to all the other sponsors out there: Casters iRacing Graphics, NJB Designs, Rubbered Up Productions.
I'm just looking over at the gap between Cheney and Jordan, and it looks like Cheney has managed to maintain a 1 second gap between himself and Jordan, but Jordan Hand absolutely, with his foot planted down, puts in the fastest lap with a 30.505.
Yeah, so just breaking in the fastest lap of the race. Also, just another couple of shout outs to our sponsors, Admin Box and Butt Kicker, as they provide some rewards to these drivers here at the Premier Series of Stock Car Racing League. Also Firestorm Racing, another huge sponsor here as well. we have them on our main sponsor there on the top left side for every race right above our tower. But great racing up here up front. They are within 7/10 of each other. Then 7 seconds back, Bryce Shoemaker doing a fantastic job using that short pit to his advantage. Now you got the 77, obviously Brian Underwood a little bit faster than the 84 here tonight, but still the 84 has put on a great clinic, using the short pit strategy to his advantage. Currently sitting in that P number 4, and that's why Bryce Shoemaker is fairly high in the point standing. And then back there in 5th spot is Josh Kreider. Oh, and there's a spin between the 24 and the 85. That's going to bring out our first caution at lap 131 of 50. So let's see what happened back there between these two drivers. Oh, and the 85 checked up a little bit. 24 getting in the back. Then they get together. Goes sideways. Oh, 85 get harder brakes. Tags the wall ever so slightly. Not too much damage, but comes to a stop. He's going to allow the drivers to go through. Oh, backs through as he's got a gap. Gets that truck rolling forward again. So nice job by Steven locking it up, allowing the drivers to for him to be predictable and to be avoided. But that is going to tighten things up here. It's going to close the gap on many drivers. I think Mark, we're going to see people come down into the pits and take fresh rubber. And if not from the people up front, especially people mid-pack or even in the back of the pack, as we still have, we're on lap 132 of 150, so we still have 19 laps remaining, and fresh rubber could go a long way here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I don't even know if they've got fresh rubber over the wall.
Yeah, Bryce Shoemaker, came in at lap 111. A lot of trucks are coming here at 112, 117. Looks like 120, and obviously the first 3 up front, 125, 124, 125. Not maybe a situation where they need tires, but 7-lap old tires, especially pushing them the way you hear. So we're really gonna see, I think, some of the trucks in the back of the field make their way down to the pits, get some fresh rubber, and get back out here. Right now, it looks like Landon Burbage, your first truck, 1 lap down. He should be our lucky dog.
I don't know. I've just had a thought. I'm gonna quickly look through the Discord if you keep looking through, because I am not sure that they've actually got another set to put on them. Oh no, somebody's in.
Yeah. The 25 of William Conley coming in. Got to take advantage of this caution flag, but the only truck to do so. Oh, and then back to Steven Shu, somebody that was involved. But I think maybe William Conley, he's got the right idea. I think fresh tires will go a long way. His tires that he was on was lap 117, so to get 15 lap newer tires can really pay big dividends. But is it enough time to make his way through the field? And like with nobody else taking tires, it might just be that you have drivers up there in the 4th, 5th, and 6th position that came in on lap 111. So it is going to make a huge difference, especially to the drivers. The first, second, third, their tires are fairly new. They were in at lap 125, and like I said, right now, if you come in, your tires are only between 7 to 8 laps old, depending on how hard you drove on them, where you're trying to save or whatnot, will really pay off. But a lot of these drivers, Bryce Shoemaker, Josh Kreider, Nathan Williams, and we've seen somebody come in to take new tires already. So William Conley. So we'll see how William Conley manages out here at the end here, and see if he's able to take advantage of the situation and work his way back up to the field, as he has moved from essentially 8th place all the way back to 15th.
Yeah, it does. The only thing that I saw in the rule book was that tyre limits are in place. Now, I don't know what the tyre limit is for tonight. So, it could just well be that they don't, that a lot of these guys don't have another set of tires to put on, or whether they, whether they believe that that position is more key than having a good set of, than having a fresh set of rubber. And as you say, some of these guys only like 7 laps in, and I mean, I think you're approaching that borderline. I mean, maybe maybe whoever comes in and puts on a fresh set, if they have a fresh set, will be slightly better off as they get towards the end of the race. But at the beginning, I don't think that the difference is going to be massively clear. It's all going to depend on how quickly they can get through traffic.
Yeah, these drivers need to make their way through traffic. Like I said, if we don't know if they have more tires or not. If tire limits are a thing and they're out of tires already, then they have to work with what they got. But right now, Kenneth Cheney and Jordan Hand out front. Pace lights are off on the Pace truck as we get ready to go green here. The Pace truck is in. They are approaching the Geico restart zone. They are on the loud pedal. The 76 of Kenneth Cheney gets a nice jump. Pulls out to the front there. Oh, and you got the 77 coming down underneath the 84 to work his way up to the back of Jordan Hand. So Brian Underwood is going to put some pressure on these leaders here, as he is on the same set of tires as these drivers in front of him. So this is what Brian Underwood wanted, as we had a late caution here. But 1, 2, 3, Kenneth Cheney, Jordan Hand, Brian Underwood, these drivers are going for it.
Yeah, they are absolutely. They've already made a little break from the rest of the field. Bryce Shoemaker and Josh Crider going side by side as they come through. They're trying to make it work, but all up the front at the moment is Kenneth Cheney, Jordan Hand, who seems to have really good long run pace. But let's see whether or not Underwood can make all of those mistakes, or that mistake from earlier on come back to him. But look at the pack behind, 3 wide.
Some fantastic racing, some 3 wide action happening here in the front and middle pack, as the 9 and the 5 and the 1, the 88 to 17, 84 to 13 are all involved in some great racing. 88 looking a little bit loose there in the middle between the 17 and the 5 as he makes his way down into turn number 3. Gonna be able to pull up. Can he hold it down, keep it off the 5 and off the 17? And the 5 gets into the wall ever so slightly.
That was tough. Crider just running up a little. That 88 just holding him off the optimum line for them. He's having to make alterations all the way through the outside curve.
84 and Danny White 79 making his way around the 84 24 as they got together. Dylan Crider and the 84 of Bryce Shoemaker. So having issues. Bryson falling back ever so slightly. William Connolly coming up back here. A lot of heavy racing back here mid-pack. A lot of things happening as they were, that caution grouped them all back together. These drivers want to get their positions here, because if they can keep this going green, it will take it to the end here. And the battle in here is fierce. So right now, Kenneth Cheney out front over Jordan Hand. And we talked about Brian Underwood, pretty much throughout the evening, as he had the incident early, but here he is on the coattails of that 20 of Jordan Hand. But then back a little bit farther, Melvin Behringer having a great run. Jeffrey Goodpasser finds himself up towards the front as well. Noah Blackwell in the 88 up 5 spots, trying to get underneath the 17 of Nicholas Hewer. And he has that position right now, but the outside really does carry some speed, especially through turns 1 and 2.
Sure, making that outside line absolutely work, whereas it looks like the 88 just cutting slightly down in front of the 2, almost blocking that off, but the 2 looking to actually drive up behind. It looks like even going to give him a slight push as they come down into the tri-oval.
We got the Crider brothers back here, sitting back in 9th and 10th, battling each other out. The 24, Dylan, that's Dylan White. There's the 24. Oh, he's a lap down. So Dylan Carrier, a lap down, was battling, but was able to just lift off just a little bit, allow Josh Crider to go by. We've seen Dylan Carrier up front, so I just had some bad. Oh, he had that bad pit stop, and put him a lap down. So, but Dylan looking to make his way forward here, get around the 5, battling with the 5. here late
Oh, can we
in the race.
flick back up to yeah, I was just about to say, if we can flip back up to the top. Looks like Underwood has actually made the pass on Jordan Hand.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's pushing up now and trying to put Cheney under a bit of pressure, seeming to make that low line work.
Yeah, let's see if we can. We'll go ahead and go back to that pass of Brian Underwood for Jordan Hand. Oh, and you see Jordan Hand tagging a wall, making a mistake, allowing that 77 to get to the other side and make a run down the tri-oval area down into turn 1. So that moved that 77 back up there to P number 2 as we go back live here with Kenneth Cheney and Brian Underwood. But don't count Jordan Hand out. I mean, he's got a lot of laps led here again tonight, and just a late race mistake, tapping the wall ever so slightly, and not really doing any damage to his truck, just enough to give up that 1/10 of a second mark.
Yeah, very true. The only thing I will be slightly concerned about, and this is just a minor concern, yellow's out, caution's out.
Oh, caution out. Looks like Noah Blackwell. We'll go back and see what happened with Noah Blackwell. It was, the 69. Oh, a little bit of netco between the 69 and 88. The 69 coming up, tagging the 88. Oh, look at some damage. The 4 gets collected. A bunch of cars kind of missing out on that one. Wow, that was a rough one for the 88. Not what he was looking to see. We'll go ahead and do that replay one more time. Kind of see what happened. The 69, 88 net coded. The 69 gathers his truck, tries to get it back up on the track, tags the 88. And here comes the 5 of Josh Kreider and the 79. They make it through. Oh, William Conley gets a shot by the 29. The 85 sneaks by. The 4 does not. And the Bush Machine. And the 71 of Timothy Poe makes it to the downside. So tough luck for Noah Blackwell here late in the race. We are on lap 145 of 50. 5 laps remaining. So some rough racing, but some, people are going to come down to pits. You got William Conley, Jeffrey Ledford, Bryce Shoemaker all come down to pits. This is going to make a huge difference as, they have a few laps, remaining. Obviously, they're back down that 11th, 12th position. But if you look at the pit, when the pit laps were, Mark, it's going to be a huge difference as now these drivers, either taking a fast repair, but it looks like William Conley might have got some tires, along with Jeffrey Ledford. So they got some tires here on lap 145, and they are going to be on some extremely new tires, and they should be able to work their way up at least 4 or 5 positions. That's just my guess. I don't know if they'll have enough for leaders or because of the lack of time, but I really do think it might help them break them into the top 10 here late in the race. But Kenneth Cheney, Ryan Underwood, Jordan Hand, 1, 2, 3, Melvin Maringer, and the number 9, number Columbia truck here tonight. Sitting in P number 4, Jeffrey Goodpasser. We've seen him work his way up through the field early, kind of fell back a little bit, was quiet, didn't know where he went. Back here again in that 5th position. And then Nicholas Hewer up 9 spots here tonight in that number 17 Royal Purple Machine, just having a great run. And then Nathan Williams in that 13 Red Bull Machine, sitting in P number 7. And then back to Jordan Kreider in the 69 Viagra Machine, sitting in P number 8 over his brother, and P number 9. So a little bit of family feud out there as the 69 and 5 make their way around here tonight. Who will be victorious, as we always like to agonize, I guess, a little bit and stir things up between their brothers and make the stories happen for all the viewers out there. But Danny White's in P number 10 in that 79 machine. Noah Blackwell is able to, he's got some damage on that truck now, Mark, but still sitting in P number 11. Not the race that he wanted here late in the race. William Conley is sitting back in 12th, and here's the drivers that have taken the tires: William Conley, Bryce Shoemaker, and Jeffrey Ledford in that 29 machine. So look out for these 3 trucks here sitting in 12th, 13th, and 14th. Then back there in Landon Burbage, back there in 15th, and with the Carrier Motorsports number 2. So plenty of I can't say plenty of racing. The racing is really down to the wire here yet tonight. The lights are still on the pace truck. I believe this time by they will go out and we'll just go ahead and ride on board with Kenneth Cheney for a lap here as we are pacing for our second caution. Our first caution was just a stage break. But right now tonight, the lights are off in the pace truck. We are on working on lap 148. So we will have 2 laps remaining when we come to the green flag.
And that's going to get interesting really quick. Cheney's obviously going to want to try and make a big break if he possibly can, because he doesn't want Underwood or Jordan anywhere near him at that time when he turns into turn 1. But they're going to have the run, and as we've seen, that track is starting to groove in. Whether or not they're going to be able to tuck him behind and get the slipstream, I don't know. Cheney's been good on long runs. He's been able to keep those tyres in decent condition. But so has Underwood, judged by my looks. And my only concern there for Jordan is that he's been having to push quite hard to stay up with those 2 guys up front, and he's been running in dirt. So I'm hoping that those tyres are still in good condition for him as the pace truck enters in.
Pace truck's off the track. Kenneth Cheney will lead him down. Barney's ready with the green flag and the start-finish line. Past the Skyco start-finish line, Kenneth Cheney gets on the gas pedal, leads him down into turn 1, will take the lead to the high side. Brian Underwood will fill in that middle line, falling behind the 76. They have 2 laps remaining here. They need to be aggressive. Time is of an essence here. There's not many laps back to go, but back here in the back of the pack, they are 4 wide with the 84, 88, 25, and 79.
Good grief, the 84 just absolutely sticking that up the inside there.
Oh, the 88 goes to the inside. It's white flag. It is official. The 88 keeps it collected. 24 is off the track. But anyways, out front, Kenneth Cheney leads over Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand. Will these drivers finish 1, 2, 3 as it is? The 9 of Melvin Behringer moves his truck into P number 4, but the 76 of Kenneth Cheney rolls down into 3, into 4, coming to the last corner.
Good pass to looking to try and make the move up on Behringer up on the inside last one.
Jordan Hand trying to make a move. It doesn't quite make it. Kenneth Cheney wins here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway with Brian Underwood in second. What a comeback for Brian. Jordan Hand comes in 3rd place. Melvin Behringer in 4th. Jeffrey Goodpaster's in 5th. Nicholas Hewer at 6th, Jordan Kreider's in 7th, Nathan Williams in 8th, Josh Kreider in 9th, Bryce Shoemaker for your top 10, and then you have William Conley, Jeffrey Ledford, Landon Burbridge, Danny White, Noah Blackwell, Keith Shoemaker, Stephen Shue, Farrell Robbins, Timothy Poe, Dylan Carrier, and Nathan Brookover as some end races calamity here. As the trucks, good thing we don't have to pay for virtual trucks. Could you imagine that? But Kenneth Cheney comes away with a win. That's just, and you know what? Very TK, man. I mean, calling it.
Yeah, absolutely.
How well that Cheney looked here tonight. So pulling away a win, a victory, and hopefully we will get to talk to that 76 here in just a short while. But what a race, Mark. I mean, 150 laps. The majority of it was green. Obviously, the end with the cautions, rounding people up, really puts some stress and pressure and the willingness to get any position you can possible. And that's where a lot of drivers sometimes need to practice a little bit of patience and only be able, and sometimes people force positions that maybe shouldn't be had. But Kenneth Cheney with the win over Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand. We'll go back into, I gotta go pull things up here as the drivers will be working their way down into the waiting rooms, and they are all there tonight. So we will go ahead and pull in Jordan Hand, and here's our 3rd place finisher, Jordan Hand. Go ahead, Mark, take it away.
Jordan, Mark up here in the booth. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right, man. About yourself?
I'm sweating. I wasn't even in the truck out there, and I'm sweating up here in the booth. That was quite the finish. Let me just put it like that. All through the race, it looked like you and Cheney were going at hammer and tong. It looked like for the longest time that you had enough pace to hold him off, and then towards the end of the run, it looked like Cheney was just pulling you back a little bit, maybe slightly, ever so slightly better on that tyre conservation, maybe. But and then the caution came out, and everything that we knew up until that point went straight out the windows, and it was a sprint race to the flag.
Yeah, honestly, I think Cheney he definitely had like a little bit more speed. Not in the short run. I think I was the best truck down the short run. I don't think anybody had anything on me, but on the long run, I think he definitely had a little bit more than me. But with having that fresh air, I think it was pretty easy to stay in front of him, and then those lap down cars just kind of screwed me over, to be honest with you. And yeah, that was unfortunate, man. But gotta give props to him. He ran one hell of a race.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Do you think that if it hadn't have gone, if you hadn't have had that caution at the end, you'd have had enough to make the move and take the win for yourself?
Yeah, I honestly, I guess there was two cautions there, but the first one that bunched everybody up together. I mean, I think there was like 8 seconds between me and Brian, so it was just me and Cheney. And he had got around me, but I started reeling him in just a little bit, figured out what he was doing on the long run to gain some time. And he pulled out about 9/10. I reeled it back into about 6 or 5, and I was going to pit a lap early, and I think I would have had him, honestly. But yeah, the caution came out, and yeah, that was just tragic, man. That's tragic.
I completely agree with you. It was. I was looking forward to it close to the end. Was it just the lap cars that put pay to it? Because at the end of it, Underwood making a move and leaving you into the third, and trying to push obviously Cheney up for the win.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Brian hit me in the back, and it kind of just got me squirrely, and it just kind of burnt the rears after that. And it seems like every time Underwood's around me, I love him. He's my friend, but something always happens. Back in Vegas, I was leading. He hooks me. There's always something that goes on, and it's just unfortunate. But he's a great driver, and I know he doesn't mean to do it. It's never intentional, but damn, does it get annoying. I'm about to start calling him around Ross Chastain at this point.
Oh, no.
I love the guy. He's probably one of the best, if not the best driver here, but I swear every time we're together, it seems like the Denny Hamlin Ross stuff all over. I mean, it does. It's wild.
It's good to have good competition out there, that's for sure. And
absolutely.
You guys definitely get put on a heck of a show, as Brian definitely had his challenges all night.
Yeah, I think he spun up pretty early, didn't he?
He did. He went all the way back to the back.
Like a talent. We'll chalk it up to that. No, I was kidding.
Right.
All right then, Jordan. Well, congratulations on your third place. A superb drive from you again tonight. Just unfortunate, as you say, as things panned out, it might have had the pace to take the win on the end. But before I let you go and talk to the family and the team, is there anybody who you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just everybody in the league. It's a great league. I mean, we've really worked hard to put this all together, and I think we really do. I think I said it in an interview before, but I really mean it when we have a great core group of guys in this league. Josh and Brian do a great job running it. I appreciate them just allowing me to help out in whatever way I can. But and also thank you to you guys. It was really unfortunate at Pocono. I would have loved to watch that race, but I got spun after flying through the field and just got hooked. So it felt good to kind of get redemption here.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, congratulations, Jordan. Superb run for you tonight. I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Hey, sounds good, brother. Take it easy.
And that was your third place finisher of the 20 of Jordan Hand. Bringing it home in third place here at Nashville Super Speedway. But we will go ahead and bring in our second place finisher of Brian Underwood. So, Brian, it's Jimmy and Mark up in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I have you.
Hey, Brian, another great race from you. Well, we can say that here at the end, but I'm sure at the beginning, before the stage break, I think you put on your lawnmower hat and decided to go through the infield there across the tri-oval, and it was quite scary, but you were able to maintain control of your truck, get back on the apron, and join the field, keeping it green. And I'm sure that's what the rest of the field wanted. And then you did your thing and made your way back up through the field to get yourself a second place finish. And it was fun to watch, fun to keep an eye on you, fun to see you come up through the field. And you definitely put on a show here for all the viewers or anybody that comes back and to rewatch this thing. But give us a little bit of your rundown. And did you really think you were going to be able to bring that 77 machine all the way back from the back to the front?
Yeah, it was a pretty eventful night. Started pretty good, qualified pretty well, and then, like I said, got my lawnmower out and mowed the front straightaway down, and went back 20th, and then I was able to pick my way back to 11th, and it just took me a while to get up to third place, but by then, Cheney and Jordan were, they were long gone. They definitely had really good speed all night long, especially in the long run, and definitely showed. Just that caution came out. I was in a spot where I was just saving tires on the last stop because I had nothing to gain. So it just worked out. Just screwed up on the last restart and overdrove turn one and kind of shot myself in the foot for the finish. But 3 seconds and a win in the last 4 weeks, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it was a unique situation for you tonight, and to watch you come, get pushed to the back, keep it clean. You didn't ruin anybody's race except your own at that point, and to come back through the field and get yourself a second place finish is just great testament of the driving that you put out here. Also, the drivers around you, and you couldn't ask for a better race. Like I said, I watched the 77 all night. Just keeping an eye on you coming up through the field. But congratulations on the second place. And I want to give you a little bit of time to give any thanks or shout outs that you may have from tonight.
Yeah, I just gotta thank, all our sponsors. Noah, for all the paint schemes he does. He did mine tonight and it looked pretty good. You gotta thank Gaston Graphics, your Firestorm Racing, Butt Kicker, just all the sponsors for us, and then all the drivers just show up. I mean, track tonight's probably not favorable, still show up with 20 plus. Had, long green runs, so it's all because of our drivers. And then thank you guys for putting on the show, and good race.
Yeah, definitely a good race. And again, congratulations on the second place. We will go ahead and let you go celebrate with your friends and family as we bring in the winner here of the night and finish up. All right, so that was your second place finisher of the 77, Brian Underwood. But tonight's winner, and somebody that we've watched race after race here and continue to put himself up in a position of winning, is the 76 of Kenneth Cheney. Go ahead and take it away, Mark.
Kenneth Mark up here in the booth. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. What an absolute stormer of a finish. I don't know if you're sweating as much as I am, but wow. What a superb race all round. Lots of green flag runs. And then it comes down to a caution with 2-3 to go, and everything up until that point goes completely out the window.
Yeah, no, 100%. I swear to God, I lost like 10 pounds in sweat. Like, that was bad. That was bad. Like, those last 20 laps, whenever that first caution came out, and then the green white checkered, like, I was sweating bullets. But I mean, it was a good race all around. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just shocked that I won that, to be honest, because Brian and Jordan were definitely a lot quicker there on the short run. I'm not gonna lie. Shoot.
Well, that was something that I had a brief conversation with Jordan about when he was up here in the booth. It did look on the short runs that he had slightly better pace, but you seem to be able to conserve those tyres really well, and you seem to come back towards the end of that each of the runs and make it work for you. So when the caution came out, I was slightly concerned that Jordan was going to be able to use that short run pace to take you, but maybe a little bit of pushing harder on those tires came to your benefit on the green white checkered.
No, 100%. Yeah, I was definitely pushing. It was definitely sketchy out there. I hit the wall like once or twice, really good. I thought that was the end of it, but that Brian and Jordan were going at it, so I just had to keep pushing throughout all that. It was definitely sketchy out there though towards the end. I'm not gonna lie, but it was good, hard racing. So I mean, I really enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, it looked like great fun, and you and Jordan definitely had the pace of the field at that point. Underwood, unfortunate early on, as Jimmy was saying to him earlier, taking that truck through the grass a little earlier on, and then being on catch up for the rest of the night, and then that last sort of series of cautions helping him close that gap up and bringing you three to the top of the field towards the end of the evening.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was I really do feel bad for Brian. Like whenever I saw that lap 2 happen, I was like, dang, because I knew he had a fast car all night. Like that should have been a 3-way battle all night between me, him, and Jordan. So yeah, but I mean, I'm glad he got his chance at the end, so to at least make up all that ground and have a chance at the win again. So, but we just held off the field, my boy. Shoot.
Absolutely superb run from you. Looking forward to the next couple of races. You got Dega next week, a double header, and then New Hampshire after that. Any of the tracks in the future calendar that you're looking forward to?
Definitely New Hampshire. Definitely Dega. That's like anybody can win that, and anything can happen. Like I'm not a big fan of play track racing, so. But definitely New Hampshire. That's a fun track to go to every time. So that should be a fun race for everybody to see and be a part of.
All right, then, my friend. Well, congratulations on a superb run from you tonight. A superb win. We've been looking forward to having you up here in the booth. We've seen you on pace for a lot of these runs, and it's about time that you actually managed to get up here and take that win home for yourself. So congratulations on your first place. A superb run from you this evening. Before I let you go, is there anybody who you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you to Dylan Carrier. Made an awesome paint scheme tonight for us to run, and just happy that I was able to sign on to his team and help him get some wins out here. So,
wow, congratulations, Kenny! Again, many congratulations from up here in the booth. A superb win from you tonight, a superb run, and hopefully we'll have you back up in the booth very soon.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. And that was the winner of tonight's race here at Nashville Super Speedway. 150 laps. The 76 comes away with the win with Brian Underwood in that third spot. And I'll go ahead and run down the results here as the race is obviously officially over. But we'll go ahead and show where everybody finished. And your winner here tonight, of course, being Kenneth Cheney, and that's number 76 by 0.395 over Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand. And then back in fourth place of Melvin Behringer, Jeffrey Goodpasser in P number 5, Nicholas Hewer in P number 6, 7th was Jordan Kreider, Nathan Williams in 8th, and Josh Kreider finishing in 9th. So Jordan Kreider getting the edge over Josh Kreider just ever so slightly here tonight. Bryce Shoemaker in P number 10, William Connolly in 11th, Jeffrey Ledford in 12th, Landon Burbage in 13th, Danny White in 14th, Noah Blackwell finishes in 15th, 16th is Keith Shoemaker, 17th Stephen Shu, 18th Farrell Robbins, and then finishing out the field here, 19th with Timothy Poe, Dylan Carrier in 20th, and Nathan Brookover finishing in 21st position. So a great run here tonight by all the drivers. We really appreciate everybody that shows up here. We really appreciate the great racing that the league has been putting on so far. But next week is a doubleheader. We're heading out to for Dega for a doubleheader, 2 45-lap races, then out to New Hampshire, Charlottesville, and then Phoenix, and then Atlanta before we head off into the playoffs. And the racing is intense here. The points spread is just keeps winding up as these drivers here have to deal with stage breaks, penalty points and just have overall great racing between each other. But I think that's it from me and you here, Mark. Do you have anything else that would you like to put out?
No, just a congratulations to every single driver out there. This is not the easiest track to get around, as we were talking about earlier. And the fact that it was only 2 cautions, and 2 cautions for, I wouldn't, that were things that really couldn't been avoided. It was just, hard racing. There was no malice. There was no malicious maneuvers. It was, just people trying to make their moves and get to the end as quickly as they possibly could. So, the fact that they managed 150 laps around here with only 2 cautions, and 2 cautions that were right near the end, just added more spice to it. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, really.
Yeah, every driver doesn't want to see the cautions come out, but when you pull them off in the end, it really does create that spicy finish here. And the guy coming out on top here tonight was Kenneth Cheney. So, great run by Kenneth, Brian, and Jordan for your 1, 2, 3 finish. Great run for all drivers out there, and we definitely look forward to seeing you all in the future. Tune in to CRN, like and subscribe, and hit that bell for notification, as there's plenty of races throughout the week other than even the drivers here. But we will be back next week, Saturday, for a doubleheader at Dega, and from me and Mark in the booth. We'll see you in the track.
Take care, people.